way, we will be able to contribute in achieving the objectives of the United Nations. Because our collective efforts can bring about positive change. I thank our principal, Sister Merlin, for giving Class 9C this opportunity to put up this informative assembly. Thank you. Thank you, sisters.
It is not the absence of conflict, it is the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. Good morning, respected managers, Sister Digna, sisters, teachers, and all my dear friends. Today, we are going to present an informative assembly on the occasion of United Nations Day. After the bitter experience of 2 world wars, within a span of 25 years, the world leaders were quick to realize the necessity for establishing an organization more powerful than the League of Nations. Even while the war was continuing, the leaders of elite governments like US President Roosevelt and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill realized the potential danger of wars to humanity. They held many conferences to discuss the nature and viability of such an organization which could save the coming generations from future wars. Their efforts finally took shape on October 24, 1945, the form of United Nations Organization. World peace must develop from inner peace, and inner peace leads to the manifestation of compassion.
Now let us hear a reading from the Holy Bible. Romans chapter 12 verse 18. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. This encourages individuals to take personal responsibility for fostering peace in their relationships. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 3. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace.
Song is a way to express praise, seek guidance, and invoke God's blessings upon us. So now, let us hear a prayer song, Tu Pyar Ka Sagar Hai.
सागर दया का
when the UN Charter was signed by delegates representing different nations. In 1849, it took the clipper ship Flying Cloud 89 days to reach San Francisco's Golden Gate Harbor from New York. In the spring of 1945, no point on Earth was more than 40 flying hours away from San Francisco. In those 100 years, San Francisco grew larger as the world grew smaller. It developed into vigorous and cosmopolitan center of person culture and of industry and shipping for wars in Pacific. And for 9 weeks in the spring of 1945, San Francisco is the center of men's hope for lasting peace.
6 nations came to San Francisco on April 25th, 1945, representing almost 2,000 million people, more than 80% of humanity. They came to design together an organization to end war, a curse which in 30 years had killed 40 million human beings. When the conference convened, Franklin Roosevelt was missing. The man who helped build the United Nations together as a fighting team and who worked to keep them united in the peace to come had died before he could see his dream come true. But his words were in every heart and mind. So now, let's turn back the pages of history and hear the last speech of Mr. Franklin Roosevelt for the formation of the United Nations Organization.
25 years to go, American fighting man looked at this big world, turning the world of peace, for which they fought and suffered. We failed them. Then we cannot fail them again and expect the world to survive again. Let the strong help the weak to survive. In the name of great humanitarian, I earnestly appeal each and every one of you to rise above personal interests and to adhere to those lofty principles which benefit all mankind.
Delegates from 46 and later 50 nations were there. But there in spirit too were the victims of Warsaw, Coventry, Shanghai, Needed Singh. The hopes of the living and the dead were concentrated in the hands of the representatives meeting at San Francisco. Together they organized the huge problem ahead of them. The discussion and amendment prepared at the Marble Oaks. Each nation was represented on all 4 large missions set to work out the general provisions of the United Nations Charter and the actual structure of General Assembly, Security Council, and the Judicial Organization. These committees were divided into smaller working groups, 12 in all. Chinese, English, Russian, French, and Spanish were the standard means of exchange among many languages spoken. And in 9 weeks, the charter was ready to go before the participating government for ratification. The United Nations Organization will have 6 principal organs: the General Assembly, the Security Council, the International Court of Justice, the Economic and Social Council, the Trusteeship Council, and the Secretariat.
In the General Assembly of the United Nations Organization, each member will have 1 vote. The General Assembly will be the main deliberative organ of the UN. The decision of the Assembly will carry the weight of world opinion on major international issues as well as the moral authority of the world community. Any matter within the scope of the Charter will be discussed here.
Recommendations will be made to the Security Council. The Security Council will have 5 permanent members and 6 others elected by the General Assembly for 2 years. It is to be the enforcement arm of the organization.
An International Court of Justice involved in session will decide legal aspects of international disputes. It is the principal judicial organ of the United Nations and gives advisory opinion on legal questions. The Economic and Social Council will have 18 members elected by the General Assembly. Special agencies like the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO will be affiliated with it. And of territories held in trust will be the part of the General Assembly. It will be equally divided among those nations which administer trust territories and those which do not. There will be secretariat to do the administrative work of the organization.
Now, President Truman arrives to attend the last session of the conference, the day which the whole civilized world has awaited anxiously, that it might have results, and the world as well as San Francisco rejoices, all the great progress made. At the Opera House, let us witness the last hours of the convention as the delegates of the steering committee honor Edward Stettinius and Lord Halifax calls out dramatically for a standing vote on the completed charter. President Truman speaks.
It is now my duty, my honor, and my privilege in the chair to call for a vote on the approval of the Charter of the United Nations, including the decree of the International Court and also the agreement on interviewing arrangements. If I have your pleasure, may I invite the leaders of delegation who are in the favor of the approval of the Charter and also the agreement on interim arrangements to rise in their places and be good enough to remain standing while they are counted. Now may I request the delegates to take the oath of the People's Charter. We, the people of United Nations, determined to save the succeeding generations from the scourge of war, which twice in our lifetime has brought untold sorrow to mankind. I request the delegates to please be seated. Now may I invite Lord Halifax to call for a standing vote on the completed charter.
It is my honor, my privilege in the chair to call for a vote on the approval of the Charter of the United Nations. This conference is the People's Conference meeting under the eyes of veterans of two wars. The Charter will depend finally upon the vigilance and sovereign will and people of the world.
Nation by nation, the delegates stand up for the great new charter. 50 nations standing side by side, unanimous for peace. Now, a final signing of the charter. China signing first. Dr. Wellington Co's signature topping the long list to come. Then for Russia, Ambassador Gromyko commits his country. Also to the agreements and objectives decided upon after day and nights of compromise and cooperation. Now, Sir Stettinius gives the final speech of the San Francisco Convention.
If we had this charter a few years ago and all the will to use it, millions now dead would be alive. If we should falter in the future in our will to use it, millions now living will surely die. Well, there's a time for making plans and there's a time for taking actions. The time for taking action is here and now.
The signing is done. The great charter is completed.
This draft of mankind's deepest hope is already a historic document. Perhaps it is the Magna Carta of peace, loving humanity itself.
Agencies, through which it operates these works for the social and economic development of the developing countries. Each agency has a particular agenda that it follows worldwide. The main important agencies are WHO, UNESCO, and UNICEF.
WHO, World Health Organization. World Health Organization is the United Nations specialized agency for health. Its objective is the attainment of highest possible level of health by all people.
UNICEF, or United Nations Children's Emergency Fund, a beacon of hope for children around the world, was established in December 1946 by UN General Assembly. The main objective of UNICEF is to look after children's welfare, especially in developing countries, by providing people with low-cost community-based services in maternal and child health, immunization and nutrition, etc.
A conference was held at London in November 1945 for the establishment of an educational, scientific and cultural organization. This led to the establishment of the UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, on 4th November 1946. The main objectives of the UNESCO is to contribute to peace and security in the world.
Dance inspires unity, understanding and healing. It is an art form that transcends boundary. So we invite you all to witness the dance of peace, creating a harmonious and peaceful environment.
And I know that it is love. Its face was brighter than tomorrow. You really try to find there's no need to cry. This place, no, there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space. Heal the world.
Sister Digna to enlighten us with her words of wisdom.
Good morning to all of you. I thank and congratulate Class 9C and Mrs. Anjali for putting up this informative assembly. It is not an easy topic, but they have done their level best to give us an information how this United Nations formed and how it is working and who all are the members. They have given us a good information. So let us give them a huge round of applause for taking the trouble to inform us. You are given all the facilities, you have got good teachers to learn, to become a good human being. Have you got the chance? How many of you take the responsibility? Each individual, leave alone putting a bit of paper down. Can I pick up that and put it in the dustbin? Can I do that? That little things also counts, whatever you are doing. And then the other people will also see that and then they will also do the same thing. So our responsibility, we have to do it, each individual. It begins from home itself, our society, our school, and then it goes to our country. So first and foremost thing is, we are supposed to create a good environment, create a good society where we can live in peacefully. We all want, and also we must give, this generation should live a better world for the next generation. So it is our responsibility to work towards it, and I invite each one of you, let us do our, to contribute our best to bring up a better world. I also congratulate once again Miss Anjani. Give them once again a very big hand. So all the best, God bless you.